Hi, I'm Amy Meaux. I'm the Dean and Rector here at Trinity Cathedral.
And I'm Jack Harvey, a member of Trinity Cathedral Parish and president of the Legacy Society.
Jack and I are here to talk about the Legacy Society. So let's start with Jack. Tell us why the Legacy Society matters to you.
Well, it matters to me in a couple of ways. First, as I said earlier, I am president of the Legacy Society and very passionate about, as is the whole board, about educating our membership on the importance of creating a legacy, creating a plan for your future and your heirs. And there's just so many reasons why that should be done, and so many reasons people delay it and say, well, I'll get to it someday. But so we're determined to get everybody educated and at least aware of the importance of having a plan and creating a legacy. And for me, my wife Jennifer and I have done that. We've created a plan, and Trinity is involved in it, and we're very happy about that as we love this church dearly.
So can I tell you a story?
Please.
So the other day I was having lunch with some members who are members of the Legacy Society, and we were talking about making sure that the language was right, both in their estate planning as well as in their file that we would have in terms of how their legacy gift would be entrusted to the cathedral. As I reflected later on my time with them, for me as the dean and rector in that particular role, I felt a sense of peace, knowing that members of our cathedral, love us enough to create space for us to be able to care for our buildings in the future. And when we know we're able to do that, it liberates us. I can worry less about how are we going to cover the cost, say, of a new chiller, and think more about how are we in community with one another, caring for each other, as well as responding to the needs of our neighbors.
Well, not only that, but I think we as family members, as well as parishioners, having a plan and have thought through it for our family, so that when we're either still here and have the plan put together or no longer here, and knowing that our plan is going to be executed and the parts of our estate are going to the right spots, as opposed to the way that the state might determine that they do distribute those things. Because if you don't, the laws change constantly, and if you're not up to date, then what you thought you were doing and what really happens are two different things. And I hear these stories in our board meetings that are horror stories about how people thought they were doing one thing, and then the laws had changed and they hadn't updated their plan. So again, I say a lot of words to say it's so important to keep your estate plan up to date, and it's so important to think through where you want your money and your assets to go, and hopefully some of those go to Trinity, and that's all what we're all about in the Legacy Society.
You know, my experience is that talking about death and dying is really hard. We think that we can put it off until we're older, and then by the time we're older, we put it off even more because we haven't practiced talking about it. And waiting until we're dying to talk about what it means to die is too late.
Sure it is.
Right? So Jared, my family and I have spent time thinking about, just like you and Jennifer, what happens after we die. As a gift, really, we see it as a gift to our children, so that when we're gone, they can really grieve us and not have to worry about what hymn we're going to sing at the funeral, or how we're going to divide up the estate, or what would mom and dad want us to do with what they've left us. One of the things that is important in that process is thinking about where we might be buried or interred, where our ashes might be spread. The other piece of that is how can we make sure our kids know what our values are?
And where our assets are going.
Exactly. And one of the ways we do that is by saying, in very clearly, and clarity is kindness, in our estate, this is where we would like X number of X percent or X number of dollars to be.
Right.
To be.
You know, one of the things we deal with in the Legacy Society is should young people have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you should not even worry about it until you're 65 years old and retired, and now it's time to start thinking about your estate plan. Well, I think that's too late. And as we know, the good Lord above decides when we're coming home, and it doesn't necessarily mean we're old. Everybody should have a plan, young and old. And the other thing that's a misnomer is, since I'm not rich, I don't really need to do an estate plan.
Right.
Well, everybody should have an estate plan, because it's not just the money, it's the assets and which child and which heir gets what. And if you want that to be determined, you need to have an estate plan. So we try to dispel all of those myths and really educate our parish. And it's a joyful thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
Jack, I personally want to thank you and Jennifer for your leadership here at the parish and for bringing so much attention to the Legacy Society. And I want to thank everyone who is already a member. Your gifts to us and the promise of those gifts really does bring us a sense of peace and ensures ministry here at this cathedral long beyond any of our current staff even. It ensures that the generations to come have a thriving and sustainable cathedral. So thank you for the gift of your time and of your estate, and thank you to those who are already members of our Legacy Society.
And I say thank you to the entire parish for paying attention. I know that we aren't high-paid actors and actresses, but we are nevertheless sincere in what we're doing. And what can you do? You can contact your estate planner, contact one of us here at the parish and ask who you need to talk to. But I plead with you to at least talk to someone and become informed. Thank you, and God bless you.